Toledo has some memories for you and your Toledo Storm days, obviously the sports arena along the line. When you think back to those Toledo Storm days, what do you recall? You can share.
I recall chaos, man. I recall crazy. I remember when I was told I was going there and thinking, okay, there's no way they can have much of a following because they're an hour from, or less than an hour from the Red Wings. And then my first game in the sports arena, I was like, wow, this is a lot different than I was expecting. And that history carried on for a while. I was up and down, and then I took a couple-year hiatus, and I came back. But it was fun, I can tell you. It was lots of fun and lots of winning. What a winning tradition we had there, and I walked into with what Chris McSorley had built, and then what Puhalski tried to keep going, and then you think about the sports arena. And, I mean, what do you say about that place? I mean, pretty unique, one of a kind place.
Was there a smaller locker room facility for the home team than you've ever been in before?
For the home team?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
That was the top of the list.
Have you ever been in the visitors' dressing room?
No, I've never been. Yeah, the couple times I was supposed to be a visitor at the sports arena, I got called up. Honestly, like I remember playing in Dayton on 2 different occasions, and then Toledo was the next night, and I got called up to wherever and didn't play in Toledo the next night. So I didn't want to be a visitor there anyway. Right. I was just fine playing my home games at the sports arena.
Yeah, I think they call that divine intervention.
That's exactly. Somebody was looking out for me.
That's right. Sure. But the minor league hockey landscape in Toledo has changed tremendously now with the Walleye and the beautiful Huntington Center. And there are guys that you coach that have gone through there. Spiza coming out, DeAndrea and Dejan Mingo. I mean, we can go back and name them.
Sure.
What does it mean, and what do you tell your guys about going up and playing minor league hockey in Toledo?
Well, in Toledo, it's. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. I mean, how do you sustain the winning they've sustained when you've got Southern teams? Because at that AA level, sometimes you're selling, we'll get you a golf membership and we'll do this, right? I mean, right? Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone's playing golf in January up
maybe this January, but not previously,
but 8,000 a night, or 7,500 a night and winning, and you're treated like a big shot. Well, I mean, that's pretty good stuff. And so we, as college guys, you always talk about getting your degree. Once you get that, you put it in your pocket, you have it. Playing some minor pro hockey is not a bad way to spend a couple years. And if you're going to do that, why not do it, in a place that all they do is win, in a facility like the Huntington Center, and never mind it's 35 minutes up the road from your alma mater. And it fits the eye. I mean, I think the guys that leave here, like a Tyler Spiza, they love it here, and he wants to be around as much as possible. And the best way to do that, play for the Walleye.
Sure.
And they all want to play. They all want to play after college, and I think the Walleye gives them an opportunity to do that.
You're talking about looking forward, and speaking of the Huntington Center, you guys had a press conference a few months back about the Icebreaker tournament, which I don't know if people really understand the significance of this tournament. It's been around since about the late 90s, but I mean, this is going to be the best of the best, or some of the best that we perceive for the next year, and it's going to start. How much of an honor is it for Bowling Green to be a part of this?
I think it's a major honor. You take a team from there. I think there's 5 or 6 leagues, and you take a team from representing each league. We've got Ohio State, Western Michigan from the Big Ten, the NCHC, RIT, which has some Bowling Green ties from Atlantic Hockey, and they've perennially been one of the top teams, and then us from the WCHA. And it's a beginning of the year tournament, so it's kind of to kick off the season a little bit. And to play in a facility like the Huntington Center, it's not too big, it's kind of cozy, and I think it's going to be perfect. I think the teams coming will be surprised. I mean, Western has played us there, not recently, and RIT has played us there. So I think their staffs are familiar with it. We've hosted an NCAA regional there. We want to have a good relationship with the Walleye and the Mud Hens. As a matter of fact, we played the outdoor game a few years ago. So it's good business for Bowling Green Athletics to be involved with Toledo Athletics, and specifically hockey. I mean, just the tradition of both places, my history there, and now the fact that we've been involved at the Huntington, we've been involved at Fifth Third. We want it to be a good relationship, and we think it's going to be, and the Icebreaker is just another example of that.
For a decade now, you've been a part of Bowling Green, not just the school, but the community.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also a husband and a father and a hockey dad.
Yeah.
Your 2 boys played for Bowling Green High School.
Yeah.
Being a part of the fabric of this community, what does it mean that there is no high school program, and a program that was a perennial state power, and there's no hockey for them this year? What does that mean to you?
Well, first of all, it's not even fair for me to comment as much as it means to some other people that have seen it, played it, coached it for years and years and years. I'm disappointed for those people. Listening to the passion in their voices and the disappointment in their voices for what's gone on, I'm disappointed. Now, when we got here 10 years ago, you could almost see it coming. My older boy was in grade 5 or 6 or whatever it was, and the numbers just weren't there. Well, that tells you over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's going to catch up to you from the high school level. If you don't have the numbers, how do you have a team? Now it is what it is. I mean, you can't field a team if you don't have bodies. And last year, Logan and Blake Powers, and my younger one was a freshman, and so on. And I mean, it was really hard. I mean, in basketball, you could potentially stay on the floor the whole time as 5 guys, but in hockey, it's just it's not even fair. I mean, you're putting people in physically in harm, and then this year, I think, unfortunately, they had to make that really difficult decision. So I just feel disappointed for everybody involved. Hopefully they'll get it back, because I know the numbers are coming back.
Yeah.
And we, both Barry and Ty have kids involved in BG youth hockey right now, and the numbers seem better. And hopefully we had something to do with that, the Falcon program, the rink. So I hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
As for yourself, I mean, we mentioned you're part of this community and you've helped turn this program around. We mentioned the resurrection. This is just facts, but I think it's worth noting. You're here. Your contract, I believe, is through 2022. You're not the highest paid guy in the conference. Guys who have had success in bringing this program to a national level have moved on. I mean, you think Jerry York, obviously Boston College. Now he's winningest coach ever.
Right.
Mason going to Michigan State after bringing this program to national prominence. I imagine you have team goals, personal goals, and other goals. Do you have any thoughts about maybe after 2022 or after what there is for you?
No, I don't have thoughts about that. The team goals have consumed my thoughts, and I feel like over the past 3 or 4 years, maybe going back to Dan DeSalvo's senior year or something like that, when I think we were the last team out of the national tournament, that's when it was really blatant that we're close. And I don't like close. Close isn't good enough, and we haven't won a championship, and we haven't won our way into the national tournament, those kind of things. So that's consumed my thoughts. I feel part of this community. My resume says I was at one place for 10 years and I've been another place for 9. So hopefully that just, it speaks of loyalty, and it speaks of me being a part of something matters to myself, my wife, my boys. This coaching staff has been together for 9 years here. That matters to me. All that being said, who knows what tomorrow brings, right? And you just don't know. I still think there's layers and levels that this program can continue to rise to, and man, I wouldn't want someone else driving the bus if that happened. I wouldn't want to watch that, man. I'd want to be part of it, because I feel like I've invested and we've invested. So, do you let your thoughts go to places at times? Yes, but do you get consumed with it? Not even close, not even a little bit.
I got to imagine from where you started to now, top 10, and even some national pundits are saying Frozen 4. There's expectations that haven't been or weren't on this program when you took over. Yeah. Do you give yourself a second to kind of look back and say it's been a pretty good run?
Not now. We just about earned it a few years ago as an at-large. We were in double overtime in the championship game in Houghton, Michigan, a couple of years ago to earn our way as a automatic qualifier. But 20 wins, I think, is a good thing for but you don't sit back and look at those things when you're in the guts of it, when you're in the middle of it. This year our team, non-conference has been an issue for us. Well, this year our non-conference is really good. Is that going to work in our favor? I don't know, but in the past it's apparently hurt us, is what we've been told. So you kind of attack every year as it comes, and I don't think back much, at least in the winter. Sometimes in the summer you think back and say, looks kind of sort of like what we wanted it to look like 9 years ago. And but in the winter, you're more, how do we get better? What do we need to do today? What about practice, recruiting? You know, you get wrapped up in the day-to-day guts of your job in the program. And I'm proud to be part of where Bowling Green hockey has come back to. But again, it's been a real collective effort with a lot of people involved.
When do you take a day off?
In the summertime. It's not every day in the summer, but I think for my own health, mentally and physically, it's important for me to do that, and be a husband and be a dad and maybe be a friend at times if I can, have a little downtime to decompress and I'm wired a little tight, and at least that's what I've heard. And I think it's important for me to enjoy this job. And sometimes when you get in the middle of the season, you lose. The word fun can't be associated with something that you're grinding on so hard. And I'm not sure that that's healthy for me. I think I want it to be fun. I get to come to the rink every day. I get to be around 20-year-old boys, generally speaking, that want to be better, want to do the right thing. And I'm trying to find ways to enjoy that a little bit more in the season, so the summertime isn't so much of a time off. Mm-hmm. But that's a wiring, and that's the business. I'm sure every coach, high school, minor pro, college that you've talked to are all wired pretty tight and wired the same way.
Last question. How many shifts you got left in your body? If you had to go up for the walleye, Dan Watson gives you a call. Hey, can you give me a couple of shifts? How many you got left?
I don't have one. I don't have a shift. Really? I have 0 shifts. I'm not your guy, Dan. If you lose my number, call me about our players. I'll call you back. You call me about a shift for me, you got the wrong guy.
Hicks will win it right back to Bergeron now. Bergeron top of the slot with a drive and a score!